So whether that's buying a bag of apples and a bag of oranges on the weekend and just having them in a fruit bowl somewhere easily visible on your kitchen table or the counter in your kitchen, so it's just like there and in your mind, or a bag of frozen mixed berries in your freezer to add to smoothies or to make some kind of special dish out of, or even experimenting with the full range of dried fruit in your pantry to either add to salads or just have as a snack all on their own. I feel like once we can get over our fear of eating fruit and really embrace the understanding from the science that fruit is absolutely beneficial for us, there's so many different ways to incorporate it in our daily routines that you can figure out what works for you with the fruits that you like, have access to, and can afford. Hit me, Producer Potts.
Dr. Sarah, I love that we have all learned from you not to fear fruit, but can you summarize all the amazing health benefits we get from fruit independent of vegetables?
Absolutely. And I think this is something that people don't necessarily recognize is that fruit and vegetables in many ways are independently beneficial. There's lots of health conditions that they both like improve or reduce the risk of, but they deliver different nutrients, which means we are healthiest when we are consuming both in our diets. So health benefits attributable specifically to fruit include a lot of things related to gastrointestinal health, including reduced risk of irritable bowel syndrome, inflammatory bowel disease, diverticular disease, chronic constipation, and colon cancer. Fruit also reduces risk of cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, lung cancer, seborrheic dermatitis, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Eating more fruit improves bone mineral density, reduces severity of asthma, and is beneficial for long-term weight management. So much for the argument that fruit is just nature's candy.
Thank you for that really helpful reminder so that we are not afraid of fruit. However, many of us do want to make sure that we're getting enough, but that we still don't overdo fruit. Can you walk us through the serving recommendations for fruit and your best tips for getting more fruit into our diets?
Studies show that 2 to 3 servings of fruit per day is sort of optimal to get all of these health benefits. And above that amount is probably okay. We're just not going to get any additional health benefit when we're consuming 4 or 5 or 6 pieces of fruit per day. So the sweet spot for fruit consumption is 2 to 3 servings per day, and a serving is defined as 1 cup measured raw and chopped for something like a melon, whole for something like berries, and that translates to a medium-sized fruit about the size of your fist. So think a fist-sized apple or orange. That might be 2 or 3 mandarins, depending on the size of them, 2 kiwis, right? Just to give you kind of a sense of how much a serving of fruit is. A full cup of sliced strawberries or a full cup of blueberries. And that amount of fruit intake lowers all-cause mortality risk, which is an indirect way to measure overall health and longevity, by 10%, which very approximately, very roughly translates to about an extra year of life. So if fruit is not part of your normal routine, there's some really straightforward ways to eat fruit, like just having a whole piece of fruit for a snack. Or you can make fruit-based dessert like fruit pies, poached pears, or like a simple fruit salad. And there's lots of ways to incorporate fruit into savory dishes as well. Think fruit chutneys or fruit salsa served with your favorite meat, fish, or tofu. There are many types of fruit that are absolutely delicious in salads. I like orange or mandarin segments, berries. Persimmons is my favorite fall season fruit to add to salads. Figs are good, sliced apple or pear. Dried fruit is delicious in a salad. I especially like dried cranberries in a salad. And I think fruit goes along with breakfast foods really easily. So you could add some sliced banana or some berries to your Greek yogurt or your oatmeal or your bowl of cereal. You could make a smoothie, which is a really easy way to incorporate both fruit and vegetables with your breakfast. And you can take advantage of frozen fruit for smoothies, which tends to be cheaper and doesn't run the risk of going bad in your home before you get to it. Frozen fruit can also be eaten just partially thawed as a treat all on its own and used to make really cool sauces and dressings. There's lots of ways to use fruit as a natural sweetener. So many different like baked good recipes that use applesauce as both like a binder and a sweetener. Mashed bananas, dates, raisins, prunes can all be used similarly. And I really recommend being adventurous when it comes to fruit. I mentioned persimmon as my favorite fruit to add to salad, and that's a really recent to me discovery. Some other cool fruits that you might not have tried, maybe papaya or dragon fruit, rambutan or lychee. And of course, my best tip for getting into the routine of consuming fruit is to just have some on hand to eat. So whether that's buying a bag of apples and a bag of oranges on the weekend and just having them in a fruit bowl somewhere easily visible on your kitchen table or the counter in your kitchen, so it's just like there and in your mind, or a bag of frozen mixed berries in your freezer to add to smoothies or to make some kind of special dish out of, or even experimenting with the full range of dried fruit in your pantry to either add to salads or just have as a snack all on their own. And in the vein of keeping things convenient, if you buy something like melon or pineapple or mango, doing a little preparation of those fruits on the weekend so that they're already peeled, chopped, and ready to go in your fridge during the week will make it easier to grab a serving. I feel like once we can get over our fear of eating fruit and really embrace the understanding from the science that fruit is absolutely beneficial for us, there's so many different ways to incorporate it in our daily routines that you can figure out what works for you with the fruits that you like, have access to, and can afford.
Thank you, Dr. Sarah. I love all these tips and just for giving us full permission to enjoy our fruit, even when we're trying to like develop some healthy habits. So fruit is a healthy habit. That's the whole point, which is so great just to embrace that. Where can we learn more about this idea of addition versus subtraction when it comes to approaching this Nutrivore way of eating that's not a diet?
My best resource is my book, Nutrivore, which is really focused on easy additions and simple swaps to fill nutritional gaps so that you can get the full range of nutrients that your body needs from the foods you eat. And if you're working on building regular fruit consumption as a habit, I suggest using the Nutrivore Weekly Serving Matrix. That is available in my book, but you can also get it as a separate digital resource on my website, Nutrivore.com. And from there, you can track your servings of all of the most nutritionally important foods to give you a little bit of a positive reinforcement boost towards building those healthy habits.